and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jules from YouTube's Zero Discrimination, as well as her website, gypsydigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. I know Gypsy and I have not gotten to talk since last week, so we've got some catching up to do. I know I've gotten out, I know she's gotten out, and I know there's tons of stuff coming up. So our guest canceled for tonight, and we just figured we'd just gab and chat about everything and anything. So, hey, Gypsy, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Everything and anything always sounds good.
Yes,
You
yeah,
never know what will happen, right?
exactly.
We got to put our listeners on the edge of their seat, right?
Yeah, yep. Uh,
So, last week was your birthday week.
it
Um,
was.
did you find any or get out for any birthday digging and treasure searching?
So I did a different type of treasure, I guess. Um, so I think the day before my birthday, I went to the casino,
Ooh,
and ended up doing pretty well. And then that covered the cost of a lot of fun things that I got and did the rest of the week. I did,
really?
yep, I did not get out detecting, sadly. It seemed like
Uh,
each time I did, I'm like, didn't charge up the detector. I knew I had hunted before, and I'm like, I need to charge it. I need to plug it in and just have it charged. But I did this weekend. We were supposed to get rain all weekend and it just was overcast. So I was like, you know what? In between a bajillion plans this weekend, I was like, I am going mudlarking because we had that big storm last weekend. Um, I know that the waves and the tide and everything, I'm like, I have to get out. So I reached out to person in the area that I've chatted with before and was like, hey, I know this is impromptu. This is where I'm going. Drop the GPS. Was like, you want to meet me and see mudlarking, like get to try it. And she was like, oh yeah. So I went down and covered like three beaches. Found some pretty cool stuff. I got a really, really pretty red faceted bead and then a couple
ooh.
mystery items that I actually, this is how busy this weekend was. All of my gear and everything is still in my truck. So I
Oh.
haven't even taken it out to clean it, but I think I got silver. So,
Mm.
yep.
You don't even know,
I
huh?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh gosh. Well, at least tell us, is it possibly a silver coin? Is it a silver jewelry?
I I think it
What's your thing?
I
Is
think it's jewelry. I'm not
this...
sure. It it
Ooh.
looks like a strange cross. I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Send me a photo.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
realized
can't wait to
I
see what you got out of your...
didn't even take a picture of it. I was more so going just found it, was like, "Ooh, throw it in the box, keep going."
Yeah, I have those days too where I barely, that's the thing about videoing when you have a YouTube channel. And I know you video a lot too for your TikTok
Mhm.
and your shorts. But at the same time, sometimes when you find something, you don't have much time and you just want to go. And so it's so hard sometimes to just pull out your camera, your phone, whatever and video. You just want to throw it in the bag. And therefore, sometimes I don't video everything, that I find that sometimes cool. And then sometimes I have regrets. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, why didn't I video? Why didn't I catch that on video? Or, you get a really, really good signal like to happen to me today, and I didn't video it until later. I ended up calling Jackie over to video for me because I I wish how you get some of those hits. Sometimes they sound too good to be true, you know, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh well, and so you think, oh well, it's one of those bazinga things or a can or whatever, and you get so caught up in what you're doing, and you're like, and then you're like, I should have videoed.
Yeah.
But,
Yep, I did not video. I did get a couple videos, but even then um I got to the tide as tide was coming back in. It wasn't a negative tide. It was actually a relatively high low tide because of the moon phase. And I knew when it comes to mudlarking too, and in the area I go, you only have like a little amount of time to really hit it
yeah,
before the tide
you're
starts
fighting the
coming back
tide.
in. Yeah.
Yes, you're fighting the tide. And that's so true too, with mudlarking where you mudlark and stuff. And the same thing with beach hunting. I found, when that tide goes out, you only have so much time. And so you don't want to take too much time videoing that, you want to, okay, found it. Look, here it is. I'll check it out later. So I've gotten to where I've gotten better at that later instead of cleaning a lot of my finds out in the wild, or just make it cleanable enough to where I can kind of tell what it might be, and then I throw it in the pouch and clean it up later for wrap up. I've gotten way better at that than I used to be.
That's good. Yeah, no,
So
mine's still sitting in the truck.
I've done that plenty. Today I ended up, let's see, what hunt? I cleaned my pouch out from, I think, when Degaz was here, and I think I still had our stuff from our Money Creek in my bag. So I was in the back of my car, and so I took a little plastic bag in the back of my car, dumped that, and then, I'm getting bad about that too. Well, you get so busy, and it was your birthday week and weekend, so I don't blame you.
Yeah. And it's so it goes like family wise, it's my birthday, my niece's birthday, my aunt's birthday, all on the same day. And then
Ooh,
within 4 days is my nephew's birthday, and then my brother-in-law's birthday is coming up, and like so it's like bing, 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 and it's so spending
wow.
time on myself it sometimes becomes difficult at that point in time.
Wow.
But yeah, it is what it is. Although I do have to say I did not find a single marble. So I'm hoping that means there's a digger from down south coming to visit and he wants to mudlark. So I'm hoping that maybe the treasure the treasure gods or whatever we're just saving it up for when he's here so he can have a blast.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you have to tell me about that later.
Mm,
Um, cool. That sounds like fun.
yes.
You know, today, I forget what I was talking about. Oh,
At what time?
that was
What
this,
what point in time?
that was this morning. We were talking about, I think it was Adele, actually. Um, and I just have all these flashbacks to New York,
New York.
I was starting to dream about that, daydream, a little bit about that. So,
Ugh,
anywho.
I daydream about that place all the time. I'm just so glad though that like I grabbed so many mystery items and I don't think I've posted pictures yet. So I know we were talking about I threw them in the tumbler. Well, the amount of different stuff that like was unrecognizable throwing it in compared to when I took it out was crazy. And the number of chains that, I was like, this could be a chain. I'm not quite sure. Um, it was really crazy doing it in the tumbler with all the like the brass copper items,
hmm
and it was crazy, and it did a great job tumbling, cleaning those keys up. So but
Oh,
like I said
yeah.
last week, I just need the time to sit down and maybe make a key chime or a spoon chime or
I'm telling you, that's what I've been saving my keys and my spoons for them. That's what I'm going to do. And I wish I would have done it before my book. I've already mentioned this, I know, before, but I got lazy and didn't do it. So, because I wanted photos,
Yeah.
because I wanted some photos. So if you have something, maybe there's time to still stick it in the book. Something you've upcycled, I love upcycling. And, there's so many things that we find that, we find plenty of them, like the keys and the spoons and the forks and all that kind of stuff. And it just makes a great, moonshine. That's so cool. I wish
I,
I knew how to sculpt
I see.
metal.
I have big dreams like that, and I had huge dreams like that. And then in my room that I do the podcast and do, the live streams with people on, and it's like my cleanup room and research room and cataloging room, I noticed that the totes I was keeping just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally I was like, yeah, it's not happening. So I sent tons of stuff all out away, take it. And then thankfully I know a lot of artists. So I'm like, here, I know you could do something with this. My dream. It's just not going to happen right now. So here, hopefully you can find something fun to do with this. Though you bringing up your book and pictures made me so it was this past week, it got in my head about, I do a lot of display cases that I give back to the property owners. So I started going through all my photos and I realized there have been quite a few displays I've given back that I didn't take a picture of. And I'm actually really bummed by that.
I
And
would be totally bummed by that.
I
Totally.
I I have there's one display and I'm gonna contact the property owner passed, but her daughter took it and I made sure. I've like, hey, did you get this or did it get given away or tossed away or she's like, no, I absolutely have it. I'm like, oh, thank gosh. Because all I could think was when they were going through that, I don't know. Who knows what people do with things? Well, obviously I mudlark, so I know what things, yeah, I know where things go, and I find them quite frequently in the dumps. So I'm going to end up contacting her, but it has a license plate that's an oval for Maine, and it was, I believe, when we did the research on it, you'd have to pay a toll to cross the state line. Well, if you had this oval license plate, which was usually geared towards doctors or the dairy delivery and things like that, they wouldn't have to pay a toll. So it's one of those license plate, and I believe it belonged to a doctor at the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's in that display. And I was going through, I'm like, I couldn't even find a picture of it. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
um, because I really want to
yeah.
put to,
You really, really need to be taking photos of every one of those that you send, and even before you put them in the display cases as well. Is there any way you could go back to the owner